It's an investigation out of this world as the $220 million spaceport sits virtually empty in the New Mexico desert. The people who run it are still finding ways to keep spending millions of dollars on it. News 13's Larry Barker spent the past 2 months combing through a mountain of documents to reveal where all that money is going.
It was a ghostly voice beckoning from a field of dreams. Build it, and he will come. In New Mexico, it wasn't a cornfield they wanted to transform. It was a spot in the desert. They said, build it, and they will come. So they created Spaceport America. The idea was to make New Mexico a leader in the aerospace industry by offering unique access to the heavens. The spaceport would be home to the world's first commercial passenger space launch facility. They constructed a runway, launch pads, terminal building, and mission control. Spaceport officials promised to send astronauts into suborbit, create jobs, boost tourism and the economy, and earn a ton of money. The grand opening was celebrated in 2011. However, the promises made 4 years ago turned out to be sky high. Today, it's quiet around here. Other than a few vertical rocket launches now and then, the spaceport sits mostly vacant. The spaceport costs more than $200 million to build. Today, it loses about $500,000 each year.
Due to a slew of delays and technical setbacks, Spaceport America depends on taxpayers to keep its operation afloat.
It's a $220 million boondoggle.
Senator George Munoz serves on the Senate Finance Committee. Has Spaceport America been careful with public dollars, your opinion?
No. They've thrown them any direction the wind blows.
News 13 tracked almost $13 million in spaceport expenditures. Consider the visitor's experience. Christine Anderson is Spaceport's executive director.
We felt we needed to take a little money and design an experience for guests that come to visit Spaceport America.
So Spaceport reached into its cookie jar and awarded a $9 million contract to a firm called Ideas.
Ideas is a company in Florida, and it's a very interesting company of people that used to work on Disney theme parks and Epcot.
Ideas was paid millions of dollars to design a visitor center in Truth or Consequences.
This is about a 5,000 or 6,000 square foot building with parking area off of the interstate. It exits 79.
The architectural team put together an animated movie showing how the building would blend with the environment. They spent years planning the landscaping, parking lots, exhibits, signs, and even ticket counters.
But there's one thing missing from all those architectural plans, and that's a place to build it. You see, the spaceport does not own this land, and they have no money to buy it. So what about all the millions they spent on these designs? Never mind.
Senator, you ever seen a state project like this before, where you spend millions of dollars designing a building on land that you don't own?
No. It's ridiculous.
Representative Patty Lundstrom serves on a Spaceport Oversight Committee.
Generally, a facility is designed around where it's going to go. So you need to have the property in place first. It doesn't make sense to spend millions of dollars on a design that you don't know you can use. That is very questionable.
The visitor center expenditures were approved by the 7-member Spaceport Authority. Can you give me the name of a single legislator who thought that was a good idea?
I don't brief those on this type of thing.
It's none of their business?
No, I don't know if they would have liked it or not liked it because I go through the board.
Rather than put all those futuristic exhibits in storage, the spaceport has now decided to install them in a 70-year-old former senior citizen center leased from the city of Truth or Consequences. Ideas was also paid a few $1 million to design a 5,000 square foot welcome center at the spaceport. That includes interactive exhibits, a 3D theater, restaurant, and merchandise shop. However, the spaceport spent so much money planning the building, they don't have any left to build it. Some of the exhibits have been temporarily installed in the Virgin Galactic hangar. And because Spaceport bought equipment specifically designed for buildings it has not built, tens of thousands of dollars worth of electronics are today unusable. Now, the Spaceport's business plan calls for the facility to be self-supporting, so they hired a marketing firm to find sponsors who would help foot the bills.
They spent tens of thousands of dollars to develop sponsorships. How many sponsors did Cordova locate?
None. Getting sponsors is very difficult.
You paid this guy a ton of money. You didn't do a very good job.
Getting sponsors, there's no guarantee in getting sponsors.
And it's not just spending on the visitor's experience that caught our attention. Take a look at the fire department. Even though this sprawling complex is mostly vacant, the spaceport pays $2.9 million a year for specially trained firefighters to provide 24/7 fire protection. It's enough money to fund more than 40 New Mexico volunteer fire departments for an entire year.
Larry, from my perspective, that does not make a lot of sense. It doesn't make a lot of sense if you don't have a lot of activity within a facility.
I personally don't think that that's a waste of money to have those people here protecting this facility.
You have a few vertical launches. Other than that, there is no launching activity here. This is virtually an empty facility.
But we have people working here, and we have tourists that come here.
Today, spaceport firefighters spend their time training, putting out area brush fires, and dealing with occasional rattlesnakes. Now, because the rocket business is a bit slow these days, the spaceport has found some unique ways to generate revenue. J. Crew rented the property for a fashion shoot. Land Rover taped a commercial. A Hollywood movie rented the spaceport for a press junket. And Kawasaki paid the spaceport to launch a cutting-edge TV spot using the impressive runway to hawk motorcycles. Even Lady Gaga got in the act. Yes, Lady Gaga. The spaceport has signed a licensing agreement with the pop star to perform at a 3-day spaceport music festival. Lady Gaga will then board a rocket ship and sing a song in space. How does Lady Gaga fit into the mission of Spaceport America?
You tell me. I can't figure that one out. I mean, is she going to have a concert in a spacesuit? Or I have no idea. I cannot figure out how you're going to get 50,000 fans at Spaceport America on a 2-lane road to do a concert.
Senator John Arthur Smith chairs the Senate Finance Committee.
Given the scarcity of dollars in the state of New Mexico on our revenue side, if there was ever a time to be efficient with your dollar, it should be now.
Did you know that some very prominent members of the Senate Finance Committee don't think you've been very careful with taxpayers' money? Did you know that?
When I testify, sometimes they tell me that, yes.
As it relates to spaceport expenditures, do you feel like you have any apologies to make to the public?
No, I think they've gotten a lot for their money.
Larry Barker, KRQE News 13.
There is much more to this story online at krqe.com. There you will find an interactive timeline of News 13's spaceport coverage, along with a slideshow of who has signed up to go to space.